Hello everyone, my name is Egidio and welcome to our video about the search project, the first project from Harvard's course CS50, Web Programming with Python and JavaScript. This video will be a mix of a review and a walkthrough video because we will use a public source code from GitHub and we will discuss how this specification was implemented in this project. And click on the page on the description to get the 3 steps you can take to become a web developer without a degree. Alright, let's talk about the search project. Well, the idea here is to design a front end for Google search, image search, and advanced search. So here's the index page from this project here. Here's the index page. And as you can see, it looks like the Google website, the Google front end. And well, we can type here, for example, dog. And when you type here, you can see the results from the real Google uh, as if you were typing in the original one. All right. And you can also search for images and you can make an advanced search using these criteria. But let's see the specification. Well, you need to show these 3 pages as we've used here. And in the project, you can see we have these 3 HTML files, right? The index, that is the Google search, the Google default search. We have the image for the Google image search and the advanced for the Google advanced search. Here we have the layout HTML file because later we will see how to make our code simpler by avoiding repetitions in files. So here you can see that the beginning of the files are almost the same. We have these style sheets. So you can see here that they repeat among the files. So the use of a layout file is to work with Django template engine. You can search for that on Google, but later we'll talk about it more and we'll put in practice. So yeah, we have these 3 pages, right? We can access them. Here's the default one, here's the image, and here's the advanced search. And in the code, you can see here this access is in this unordered list. So here we have the access to the image search. Here's the href, the reference to the HTML file, and later the advanced search, the reference for the other file. The same in the other files. So here's the access in the image search website, and here's the access in the advanced search website. You can just go back to the Google default search. The next step is to be able to search on Google through your front end. So here we need to have an input space, and later we need to be redirected to Google search results. If you go to the website, here's the input. It's just a query. It's just a simple input. So you can type like dogs and cats. And what happens here is when we type enter, or if we click on Google search, we are redirected. We are sent to this URL, google.com/search, and here we have the query parameter called Q. Normally, Google just works with that. If we open the real Google and we type dogs and cats, we have a lot of parameters here, but the most important here is Q. So this is the most important parameter here to search on Google. And how the code does that, we'll check here. Here's the index page. So if we go to the form, the place where we'll put information, you can see here that we have this input group. Here we have the icon. All right, it's a search icon. So if we remove this, and if we go back to our website, you can see that the icon is gone. So here, this div is just for the icon. And later, we can see here the input for our information. So it's a text. The name of the parameter is Q. And then there's the class and other configurations that will be used for this input. But when we type the name, the value that we put for this parameter will be put after the URL. So it will be this one, and then the browser will add this parameter as the name of the field, and then the information that we typed will be put as the value of the field. So if we change this to, for example, field name, and we save here, if we go back here, let's update. We put this back, right? So if we type again dogs and cats, let's open the inspection mode. If we search, you can see here that it tried to go to this URL, google.com/search, and then we have that there's no more Q field. There's no more Q parameter. It's just field name, and Google doesn't know how to handle with this. So we are redirect. We'll talk in the next class about this status code, but we are being redirected to the original Google search because, and then later we can search and Google will put the correct parameter, dogs and cats. All right. But again, if we go back and we put the correct query parameter that Google expects, we just update and we type again, dogs and cats. Let's clean here before and later, dogs and cats. Here it is. It's correct. So here's how we can search using our local website. And then we need to take care of our layout. So it should be centered with rounded corners, the bar and the button, and also be beneath the search bar. So you can see here that here is the input, and here are the buttons. If you go to the CSS file, you can see here the configuration for the search class, and here you can see the configuration for the submit button. If we search about an image, we can check here that here's the search, and you can search here like happy dog. And what we need to do to search about images is to use the query parameter, but also we need to inform this field, the TBM with the value ISCH. So if we remove this parameter, it's a normal search. If we add this parameter, here we have an image search. In the code, you can see here that the image HTML file does the following. We have the icon here. Then we have a hidden input. Why do we need to use that? We need to put this in the address to tell Google that we want to search about images. And later we have the same input for our search field. So a hidden input is responsible for making our search oriented for an image search. Later, the advanced search is similar to the image search, but we will work with different field names. So, for example, for all these words criterion, we have this field name. For an exact word, we have this field name and the same to the other ones. Different parameters that will receive different values typed by the user. And what makes the appearance of the advanced search similar to Google, like stacked vertically and aligned left and left aligned, is this. We have the ADIV2 that it's in the left, and later we have these form group rows that will keep the name, the description, and the field in the same line. So here we have the information. If we remove this row, you can see here it's no more aligned. So here we have groups of rows, and inside each row we have the description and the field. And the fact that we need to have the advanced search blue and white, and with white text, This is easier because we can use the bootstrap buttons. So here we have this kind of button, the button primary class. And this is default from bootstrap. We can check here. Here is the button that is being used. It's the button primary. It's the same. And about the I'm feeling lucky, the thing is you type something and you go directly to the first answer that Google brings back to you. If we go back and we search, for example, and if you type Wikipedia, for example, you're going directly to the first page, the wikipedia.org. It'll be the first answer from Google. And the I'm feeling lucky can do that because it adds this query parameter with this name, and the value is already set. The value of this input is I'm feeling lucky. So when we typed, you can see here, here's the query. So when we typed Wikipedia and we click in I'm feeling lucky, you can see here that the address is google.com/search. Here is the Q field, and in the end we have this field, button I, that Google expects, and then the value, I'm feeling lucky. This tells Google, okay, search about this, and in the end give me the first answer. And when we talk about the aesthetics of Google, it was used the Bootstrap documentation, the Cloudflare font awesome because here you can get some fonts and some nice icons. You don't need to save them in your local repository, and also some customization from the local style sheet called style.css. So here we have all the customization for classes, for the whole body, sometimes for when you hover over the input space, there's this shadow. So here you can check later, all the customization was done. And that's it for the Project Zero. We hope that with this video you can make the Project Zero by yourself. And if you have any question, leave in the comment down below. Thanks for watching and see ya!